Okay, so we just took a peek at some of the basic rules and how to use them, and here's a little bit of a more complicated problem now. Find dp dt if p equals t cubed plus 16t squared minus 5/3 t plus 16. Yikes! A lot going on here, but not as much as you might think. We're just going to go ahead and take the derivative of each guy along the way here. So what we would look at is dp dt would end up being however, let's see, would be p prime. Wow, what's going on here? P prime is equal to 3t squared plus 12t minus 5/3. And remember that the derivative of a constant is 0. And that's all I did. All you're going to do. That's all there is to it. Do you see the pattern? 3 times the number in front, which happens to just be 1. Subtract 1, that gets me the 2. 2 times the number in front, 12. 12 times t to the first power, just t. This one that may be a little tricky is negative 5/3 t. Remember, this is t to the first power. So when I take that 1 up there and I multiply it by negative 5/3, I still get that negative 5/3, okay? But what happens is my t now has 1 minus 1 as its power. So this is negative 5/3 t to the 0, which is going to be negative 5/3 times 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so that should be the only one that maybe is just a little bit on the tricky side, but again, it's totally doable. Well, what about finding horizontal tangents on this curve down here, x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 2, and all the points where they occur? Now, this at first looks really daunting, but we just need to know what y prime is. Remember, if we can find a derivative, we can find an equation to find all the tangent lines, okay? And so what's my derivative for this? Well, 4 times 1, that's 4. And then 4 minus 1, that's my power, is 3. Minus 2 times 2, well, that's going to be 4. And then x squared is just x. Okay, again, no problem. And then 2 is just going to be 0. So here's my derivative. And now the question is, find all the horizontal asymptotes. What does that mean? That means that we're going to have a slope of 0. So what am I going to do to find where all those things occur? Well, if I want a slope to equal 0, then I set the derivative equal to 0. It's going to look like this. And then solve this guy out. And again, he looks really hard, but just go through and practice some of those Algebra 1 skills that you've got, and he actually turns out to be not too bad. Factor out of 4x, and we're left with x squared minus 1 equals 0. And then look, x squared minus 1 factors. So 4x times x plus 1 times x minus 1, that equals 0. And then you can set each piece equal to 0. So 4x equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, and x minus 1 equals 0. So where do we find all of our horizontal tangents? We find all of our horizontal tangents at these spots. When x is 0, when x is negative 1, and when x is positive 1. That's it. Life just got so much easier.